television program for children made its unauspicious debut on station WQED in Pittsburgh. Its host, Fred Rogers.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
I want to tell you something.
What would you like to tell
I
me?
like you.
I like you, my dear. Thank you very much for telling me that.
If you take all of the elements that make good television and do the exact opposite, you have Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Low production values, simple set, unlikely star. Yet, it worked.
Won't You Be My Neighbor is the perfect antidote to a summer of blockbusters and violent action films that keep wanting to take us into virtual worlds of warring action heroes. Originally slated to leave the theater where it was playing 4 weeks ago, Won't You Be My Neighbor has continued to hang on through this summer of thrillers and sequels, and there's no sign of people stopping to come and see it. This documentary tells the heartwarming story about a man who is truly one of a kind. Fred Rogers.
I've always felt that I didn't need to put on a funny hat or jump through the hoop to have a relationship with a child.
He was always trying to get a message across in every show.
A week on death.
What does assassination mean?
On divorce.
Some people get married, and after a while, they're so unhappy that they don't want to be married anymore.
He was radical. I know everyone says that, but he was radical.
They didn't want black people to come and swim in their swimming pools. My being on the program was a statement for Fred.
Mr. Rogers first brought his television show to Pittsburgh in the 1960s and 70s. At this time, President Nixon was pulling the plug on public broadcast stations so that he could better control the media and the facts that they were telling the American people. Fred Rogers petitioned Congress for $20 million to keep his show on the air. After introducing Congress to his neighborhood, they granted him the $20 million to keep his message of loving kindness on the airwaves.
A neighborhood was a place where, at times that you felt worried, scared, unsafe, would take care of you.
He had a singular vision of kindness and love.
Love is at the root of everything. All learning, all relationships, love or the lack of it. Children have very deep feelings, just the way everybody does.
We get to meet all of the characters from the show, looking back on the unique and special world of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Fred's work was love your neighbor and love yourself. It was a communication right into their hearts.
Children have very deep feelings, just the way everybody does. There must be times when you do feel blue. I'm not feeling blue right now, though.
Me neither.
Watching this documentary as a member of the baby boomer generation, it was difficult for me to hold back the tears. It wasn't the nostalgia of seeing his primitive stage set, or his cardigan sweater, or his funny neighbors who joined him each day in the neighborhood. It was the simple human decency in his voice, the gentle manner of his presence, the way, unlike the leaders of today, that he practiced love and kindness in his every word and gesture toward those around him.
Won't you be my neighbor? Well, I suppose it's an invitation. It's an invitation for somebody to be close to you.
Watching this gentleman speak to the Congressional Review Committee under pressure was something that I'll never forget. Nor will I forget the tear-jerking message at the end of the film as we listen to Mr. Rogers guiding us through 9/11. Looking directly into the camera at his audience, almost at a loss for words, he finally stated, "Sometimes it takes a tragedy to make us aware of the gravity of love." Fred Rogers truly taught us what it means to be neighbors, and this message could not come at a more decisive time in the history of American society. Won't You Be My Neighbor continues its extended run at the Angelica Theater in Dallas. Don't miss it.
The greatest thing that we can do is to help somebody know that they're loved and capable of loving. Won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor?